Hello, everybody, and happy Halloween to all of you out there. And things have been a little crazy around here. I'm not gonna lie to you, which is my camera angle's all screwy. It didn't come to you on a Friday. We're doing it live, but this is a Week 8 edition and a Halloween edition of Big Al's Big Five. I have 5 games picked out, but before we get to all of that, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube where you are seeing this now. The link is on our Facebook page to watch this, so go check that out as well. But make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Really make sure that you know where to find us. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You already know the drill. If you've watched any of our other videos, you already know how to find us in the LCU. My Halloween costume today is Guy who is too lazy to put in his contacts. So hopefully I nailed that one for you. But let's just get right into it. Week 8. Let's go. No imaging, no nothing. We're just doing this raw and live. So here we go. First game. Eagles at Detroit. I like Detroit. That's right. I said it. Detroit is a 3.5-point dog at home, a home doggy. Detroit they kept pace and could have beaten the Rams last week. This Philadelphia team has not been impressive. Jalen Hurts has been a wonderful fantasy quarterback. I have him in several leagues. But in terms of just normal quarterback in real life, he's been averages at best. And Detroit plays hard. They threw every kitchen sink they could. I think I said this on Wednesday's show. They threw the kitchen sink, their kitchen sink, the Rams' kitchen sink, every sink at Home Depot. All the kitchen sinks they threw at the Rams. Dan Campbell wants to win so badly. It's crazy. Now they get a very mediocre Eagles team at home. They are getting 3.5 points at home. If gambling was legal here, I would love this bet today. I am taking Detroit all the way, no questions asked. Book it. Lions get their first win of the year today. Book it. Game number 2, Pittsburgh at Cleveland. So Cleveland has been banged up for the last couple weeks here. Baker Mayfield didn't play last week, Thursday. He had 10 days rest. He's back. Odell Beckham, he's in. Jarvis Landry is back. And obviously Nick Chubb. And what does Cleveland like to do? Run the football. This Pittsburgh team has been mediocre at best. They haven't really flashed that splash playability that they normally show. Tight division game on the road at Cleveland, a place where it's not a very high. This is what's wrong with doing it live, folks, is I can't edit my mistakes. Cleveland and Pittsburgh, when they play in Cleveland, those games seem to be really, really tight. So Cleveland is getting 3.5 at home. So Vegas also knows that this game's going to be tight. But if you're telling me this is a 21-17 game, I'd totally buy it, and I think Cleveland wins. I think they are just better overall. They are a little banged up, but as of right now, Pittsburgh hasn't shown me anything to say that they can even win this game today. So then it becomes a question of how much can Cleveland win by. It's probably going to be tight. So Cleveland by 4, absolutely book it. I like Cleveland at home this week. Probably the game of the day, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Before I give you my pick, let's just go over some facts. Tom Brady has never played well in New Orleans. Those games always seem to be tight, division game, on the road. Tampa is still banged up. They haven't been healthy really the entire year, and they're still playing pretty well. But now they go on the road, where last year, if you recall, the very crappy version of Drew Brees that we saw last year almost beat them. And you could argue that they should have beat them in New Orleans. Tampa had to go on the road all of the playoffs last year. But that version of Brees wasn't nearly as good as this current version of Jameis Winston. And that sounds crazy, but Jameis can get the ball downfield. He's got weapons. Not as good as Tampa's, but he's got good enough weapons where he can make a little bit of magic happen. And they're not going to be able to run. So it's all on Jameis. And this version of Jameis is better than the version of Drew Brees that we saw last year. Combine that with the fact that Brady hasn't played well in Tampa, or in New Orleans, excuse me. I like New Orleans. They are 4.5-point underdogs at home. I think at the very least it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. No, it wouldn't surprise me if Tampa blows the doors off them either, because I don't think this New Orleans team is anything exquisite. But I like New Orleans today at home, 4.5-point home doggy. I like it. Give me the Saints this week. Next game, also could argue that it's the game of the day. It's New England at the Chargers. Now, the fan base for the Chargers has been a joke in the NFL for at least as long as I can remember. So, there's going to be a lot of New England fans in that building. But the Chargers are the home team. They are 4.5-point favorites at home. They're coming off of a bye, which is huge. So any little bangs and nicked up players that they had, they're a little healthier. They're still explosive. New England, it's a rookie on the road. There will be a lot of Boston fans there, I'm guessing, because they travel pretty decently. And let's face it, the Chargers fans are essentially non-existent since they moved to LA from San Diego. And if you're telling me that everyone talks about the New England defense being so great. They've looked great against Zach Wilson and Mike White, I think is his name, the backup for the Jets. They've won 3 games this season. They've won 3 games. Oh, my camera's all off. And 2 of them were against the Jets. I don't believe in this New England team. Only 4.5 at home. Home field advantage for them doesn't necessarily mean much, but in a dome, so you don't have to worry about weather. New England at LA. I like LA. Swallow the 4.5 points. Give me the Chargers. And the last game on today's Big 5. Dallas at Minnesota. Right now, Minnesota is a 2.5-point favorite at home. It all comes down to whether Dak Prescott plays or not. So this is a just pure gamble in every sense of the word. This is a gamble. Because if you can lock this number in right now, Minnesota 2.5, and Dak Prescott does play, then you got to feel great that Dallas can win this game outright. Minnesota's defense is not nearly as good as the Dallas defense. So if you're telling me this game's going to end up being one of those offensive firepower games and it comes down to whose defense can make a stop, I trust the Dallas defense a hell of a lot more than I do Minnesota's. So it all comes down to if Dak is healthy. And even then, 2.5-point on the road, yeah, it's with the backup quarterback, but they got Dallas, that is, has weapons for days. They have so many weapons. I don't necessarily know if it matters who's playing quarterback for them. They are just that talented on offense. And this Minnesota defense, even their star players, Patrick Peterson, Harrison Smith, they're all older. They're not quite the caliber players that we remember from yesteryear. Like, Dallas at this point, their strategies were going to outscore you. And the defense, it just so happens that the defense has turned out to be pretty good. So Dallas right now, 2.5-point dogs. I would take Dallas, try and lock that in, and then you just got to hope and pray Dak plays. If Dak doesn't play, I still like Dallas here. I just don't trust the Minnesota defense, and I really just don't trust Kirk Cousins in a big spot on Sunday night. When have we ever seen Kirk Cousins perform and Minnesota needs this game. Dallas, they want to keep pace for that number 1 seed after Green Bay just beat Arizona. By the way, we will talk about that on Thursday's live stream. That'll be 7:30 right here on YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss this week's episode of the Lockdown Corner podcast. Anyway, back to this current show. Dallas at Minnesota. Lock that in as soon as you can. Dallas, I like it. I think no matter if Dak plays or not, but if Dak does play, that almost feels like you're just taking money. But the fact that Minnesota is favored tells me that Vegas knows something. So just be careful, but I would take Dallas, no question. All right, that will do it for this week's edition of the Bab 5, if you want to call it. But Big Al's Big 5, that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter right there at AJ Brault. You can follow the podcast at Corner Lockdown. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Make sure you hit that like button below as well. Make sure you follow everything we're doing, Apple, Spotify. This is only a YouTube exclusive. So Big Al's Big 5, a.k.a. Bab 5, is only on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to that, but also follow us on Corner Lockdown on Twitter. Hit that like button, all the general, subscribe, rate, review, all the normal stuff that I have to tell you, just so we can continue to grow this thing. Thank you for watching Week 8. I hope I win you some money this week. Last week we went 2-3. Not great. Kansas City and Carolina kind of screwed me, but that's okay. So that'll do it. We will talk about the Green Bay and Arizona game on the Lockdown Corner podcast. That will be on Thursday, 7:30. Make sure you check that out as well. But for the time being, thank you for watching this edition of the Bab 5. We will see you next week for Week 9. But happy Halloween. Make sure you stay safe out there. Enjoy your Halloween. It's relatively nice in Green Bay today. So if you're in Titletown, make sure you enjoy the nice weather because it's going away soon. It just keeps getting colder. But thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, follow our stuff on Apple and Spotify. And we will see you next week. Happy Halloween, everybody.